Welcome back. There is no doubt that precious lives and properties have been lost to accidents caused by trucks, and it's inconceivable the man-hours that have been lost to traffic jams. Now, a pathetic incident worth recounting is that of the 40-feet container trailer that fell off Ojuelegba Bridge, killing 3 people instantly. Now we ask, who is to blame? It's your view that the count can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at YOURVIEW. All right, ladies, I read in the papers this morning that Lagos State government is trying to task road users, or even the trailers, because there was a law back in, I think, 2012 that said that they're not supposed, they're only supposed to apply the road. They're not supposed to apply the road between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. They're not supposed to, but they haven't really enforced it. So now, because of what happened, they're all geared up saying, no, we must enforce it. Last man must do your job. But that's what usually happens when this kind of tragedies happen.
And then they enforce it for 7 months and it's back to normal.
So, so obviously the government has a role to play.
Yeah.
But who else can we hold responsible for these kinds of accidents?
The citizens. I think that government...
The 3 men that died should be held responsible?
No, I think that all of us, we are the government. We are the ones who elected the government officials.
Okay.
We are the ones who also drive these trucks. Do you understand what I mean? The government is not able to do everything if the citizens don't, you know, take ownership. Yes, we can say to pull load out of our ports, make sure that the railway system is working. Look, just how many weeks ago we had the train accident, you know, with a car. So things will go wrong if the government has good plans, good objectives. They put laws in place, but the citizens don't take ownership of them. Okay. The people who drive these trucks, first and foremost, are they trained to drive them? Secondly, from the ports, the people who load these trucks, do they make sure that the load is latched on properly? Then the roads, are they in good condition? That's government. Lastly,
now, okay, we're talking about the people who actually load and the people who drive these trucks. We found that a lot of them actually, after the accidents, they run away. They run away. So how do you even fix the problem when you can't even hold Mr. A responsible?
But they have an association. If government bans them today, that association will come out.
Remember the guy that was involved, I'm not sure it was that Ojuelegba one, they actually ran it with the plate number. So they can't trace
They have an association. There's somewhere where they park. Before you go and load that you're going to deliver load somewhere, they are not just strangers. They don't fall from the sky. There's an association.
Let me hear somebody else.
For me, I do agree with you, Jumoke, and I think that one of the major contributors is the road. Yes, some of the truck drivers are not trained, but then there are others who are trained as well, and they still get involved in these accidents. So now, for an ordinary driver, we know how terrible Nigerian roads is, and for some reason, our leaders, let's say the past ones, seem to have this hatred for good roads. Otherwise, they would have developed it. So I drive a small car, okay? And sometimes you don't see a bump on the road. And by the time you see, you're trying to swerve. Now, because you drive a small car, it's easier for you to get around it. But for a truck driver, he's trained, but you don't always see these things. Now, having that full 40 feet, you know, a tanker, truck, whatever it is, container, thank you, behind him, for him to swerve, the front could get past, but then the container is down. So bad road is, I believe bad road is a major contributor, because I was listening to someone saying that these people would go through VIOs and road safety, and they will deem them worthy, nothing is wrong, but then that tiny bump on the road can make a lot of difference.
Tiny bump, yes, but also remember for the Ojuelegba, we're not only dissecting the Ojuelegba, the other ones, but remember the bridge railings came off. Whose responsibility was that?
Those were stolen. Those were stolen.
Yeah, but really, but there are some bridges that the one that come they didn't steal the one in Third Mainland Bridge.
Those were stolen.
How come they not
the ones in Third Mainland Bridge were also stolen. Is that the federal government replaces them?
Yes, why did they replace that one?
Citizens, stop stealing government property.
Right, Jumoke, in as much as I want to agree with you, but I beg to disagree. These cases of falling trucks and everything, it rises and falls on the government. I want to strictly put it on the government. Yes, last week Friday, we missed a story as well. The truck drivers, I mean, a bus driver fully loaded, going towards this western state. I can't remember the state now. They had a major issue with their tire because of bad road. They parked by the side. Thankfully, all these passengers disembarked. A truck was coming, and as the truck was coming, it met that bad spot and capsized on the bus.
And fell.
But yes, it fell on the bus. Now imagine if There were people inside that bus, fully loaded. What do you think would have happened? Now, if a truck driver is not certified to drive properly and he's driving, the person that is supposed to hold that truck driver accountable is supposed to be the road safety. Road safety is government. If the truck is not in good condition and the truck is driving, because most of these containers, their bolts are worn out.
Yeah.
So if that truck still leaves the port and drives on the road, who would you hold accountable? It's VIO. VIO is what? Government. If now the driver is overspeeding on the road, because most of these truck drivers, they are driving on the road at very ridiculous speed. Who are you supposed to blame?
Policemen.
FRS or policemen. So now, after that, in the first place, that Ojuelegba case now, it was overloaded. We have issues with our road. And the road they are going to worse states because there's too much load on these roads. What do the government needs to do? The government needs to fix our rail system. Yes. So you completely take off all these heavy duty things from the road. So everything still falls on the government.
Yeah, the government, absolutely. But as you said, where does the responsibility of ensuring that you use quality drivers, that use quality trucks, and quality trucks and drivers for your own company?
And
the owners of these companies should be also let help. So the owner, the owner of the cement, the company that loaded cement, shouldn't they take?
I have an issue right now with myself and my husband. We were driving on Lagos the Ikorodu way. A truck driver, my husband saw the truck and swerved. Do you know the truck still came and batched his car? So my husband didn't have time for long grammar. He took the picture of his number plate and he took his driver's license. Till tomorrow, we've not seen the guy.
The issues that you are addressing, you are addressing solution, I'm addressing prevention. The government, aside from building roads, which is the major part of their creating infrastructure for us to drive on, they will be catching people who do wrong. I'm saying, if we as citizens hold ourselves accountable for other lives, not just myself, if we are selfless in service, we will prevent.
Let me take Onye's call from Ikoyi. Onye, are you there?
Yes, good morning, Morayo.
Let's go ahead.
Welcome, Stanzi. Good to see you. Well, this issue is quite pathetic. And I just want to start by addressing the fact that these heavy things or trucks or whatever heavy goods should go by rail. In any developed country, that is what happens. Yes. Now, coming to the railing, I know that some people remove it because they believe they use those materials to make bangles. That's why they steal it. Now, each time you place it, or you replace it, or you fix it, they just take their time at night to go and remove it. And those railings are not strong enough to even hold anything that wants to fall over.
Thank you.
The point is that the heavy trucks must, whatever thing they're carrying, must go by rail. Thank you. Good morning.
Really love you. You're going to say something.
I also have this opinion that the companies are also to blame, because when you're loading these containers, sometimes it's from the port, other times it's from the company. Now, assuming it is from the company and it is overload, the company people should know that you are meant to carry 400 and nothing above 400.
Who checks the
most time it's from the
Do you understand? No, that is what I'm saying, that the fault is also from the company. And not only that, most times they would give the issue of overspeeding, most times they would give them a mandate that this thing you are carrying now, I need you to move it from Kano to Lagos in 2 days or in 1 day. And so the man needs to keep his job. No. So he's no, but it is part of the reason. It is part of the reason.
Good morning, Ike. Are you there?
Good morning, Morayo.
Morning, please go ahead.
Sanzi, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah, Morayo.
Yes, sir.
The truck, the container carrier, if you watch very well, they use 8 tires. The middle tires.
Thank you.
If you check very well, you see most of the container carrier, the middle tires are bad.
Thank you.
So they need to look into the truck carrier and the driver themselves.
Interesting. And interestingly, in fairness, I heard that last one actually tried to stop him from getting on that bridge.
Run over them.
I heard they actually made that attempt to stop that truck from climbing on. This thing is too heavy.
Yes, someone was on the radio saying that he actually parked and said that truck could not go on that bridge. That it was the fellow Nigerians, that's where citizens come in, that they were saying that get off the way, what it concerns inside the matter. But you see what this man raised is a very, very key issue. Most of these trucks, you will see that the inner tires are just
chopped.
Rails.
Yeah.
They are chopped. It's just rails that they are going on. Now, FRSC will see me with a tiny dot on my windscreen and stop me and tell me that
this is still a vex.
It affects me. It's true. You see me with it, and that dot on my windscreen was as a result of somebody that was carrying granite and did not cover them, and the stone fell on my windscreen. You will see me and you will stop me. Now this man is driving with. He's supposed to drive with complete tires, and about 4 of those tires are completely gone. You won't stop that truck, and you allow that truck to go.
How do you want to stop
it?
Sometimes they stop them, but then they speed past. Your life is important.
Exactly. How do you want to stop him?
You see, when you come in, you say that company would load. Yes, you see, why I say I will still fault it back to the government. If the government sanctions that company, when I give you a fine of 10 million naira, tomorrow you will not repeat it again. Do you understand? They should put impunity measures.
They're so long.
Yeah.
One time you catch somebody, before you now report it.
There are some laws that you need to you need to expedite it. Yes.
I think in prevention, those trucks originate from somewhere. They start their journey from somewhere. So be it from the port or a company, we the citizens should make sure that if you are the Truck Drivers Association, if you are the Nigerian Ports Authority, if you are the customs person, that no truck that is not latched on properly with the container that is carrying leaves your terminal, first and foremost. Because Sansi made a good point. How do you arrest a truck that is driving? Do you want to,
I think,
human being crossing a truck?
Let me take Charles. Charles, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead, Charles.
Please, you want to talk about these truck issues. I'm a transporter. The major problem that some of the truck users do, there is a hook that hooks those containers.
Yes. Most of them are rusty.
Some of them will load those containers in the bus. They will apply this hook to hook those containers. You understand? And normally, before you move your truck for a loading, you have to test your brakes, whether your brakes is working very well or not. Some of their brakes are very, very faulty.
Yes, so
because the brake of a truck is not the same of a normal car.
True.
Of a truck is a air.
Okay.
You understand? So there may be a pipe that may cut for the truck, so there will be a fault.
Thank you so much. Let's see some
tweets. Omoleye Shion says the governments are not Omoloye Shion says the governments are not the ones driving the trucks or our cars. We are to also take certain cautions. Okedun Omotaya says, I so much agree with Jumoke. We as citizens need to value our lives. If you know the truck is not standard, then you don't drive it. Tajuddin Balogun says, the people are to be blamed for their negligence and law enforcement for conspiracy. A guy tried to stop the truck, but no one listened. One more.
Okay.
Folarin says, nice topic. The Truck Driver Association is worse. If the government take a decision against them now, blocking the road is all they know.
All right, Odukoya Adewale says the trucks should always be properly checked and should be restricted for the size of load they carry before plying the road. And Prince Oji Samuel says federal government should be held responsible for it. Where are the road safety, VIO and
We'll take our last call for this morning. Yusuf, are you there?
I'm there.
Morning, please go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
If I want to talk about the issue, the issue is about the black man who drives for everything. Before you move the truck, you have to check your truck. If the truck is not feeling fine, they should not be loaded. Okay. Let's check about the brake and the wood.
Okay.
Brakes
if it is not wood,
yes,
you can't be able to load.
So the brakes and hooks are obviously very, very important.
Very important.
Yes.
All right. Who checks it?
Who checks it?
And Nigerian drivers should drive carefully around trucks.
All right, we have to round up now. I think maybe one of our reporters who can do a story on this. I think we need to investigate and find out who is complying and who is not. All right, that's all we can take on this hot topic. When we return, President Buhari's first 100 days in office. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. As President Muhammadu Buhari marks 100 days in office, there has been various perspectives on his achievements. What are your thoughts on this achievement? But first, our guest will give us her own views on what our president has achieved in the first 100 days. Joining us on the show is a development practitioner, Abimbola Junaid. Welcome to the show, Junaid. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, ladies.
Junaid, where is that from?
Lagos.
Oh, Junaid,
and I'm
really?
from Ikorodu.
Oh,
no, okay. She's from Isaliko.
All right, you can call us on 070-806-68014. You can tweet to us at TVC_ENT, and please hashtag your views so that we can get it. All right, we would like to hear your views on our president's 100 days in office. All right, now, Bimbo, we've been hearing different perspectives. Some say, oh, he's done well. Some said, oh, the economy is bad. Oh, some said, give us the names of your ministers. X, Y, Z here and there. What's your own assessment of the first 100 days?
Well, at least we have a feeling that someone is in charge.
You know?
Can I give you a Definitely.
Ready to
and I think that's the most important, because a leader would have to be in charge any time of the day, you know. And I think that that's what he's done. He's tried to be president for 3 times over, and he finally got in this time, and he just hit the floor, the ground running. Yeah. And I have a feeling that Nigerians have that sense of hope and aspiration again. I'm not going to go into a scorecard, but I'm going to look at the restoration of hope and aspiration. And first and foremost, he just hit the ground and moved the command base to Maiduguri, including the hierarchies of military chiefs. You know, that's the base, that's where it should take place, and he went down there. Then he's gone on to the different neighboring countries, which I think is so essential in fighting this war against insurgency. And he's going to have their buy-in into it, and continuously you can see the collaboration and how that is working around our borders. Then the big one for all of us Nigerians, yeah, that could be different according to, it depends on where you are across the nation. But the increase in power supply.
Pause.
Yes.
Pause.
Excuse me.
Just pause. Because
yes.
There's a serious debate on that.
Hold
on.
One second,
Jumaka, I'll let you talk. The debate is, listen, GEJ put privatized power. He set the ball rolling in that. That why would anybody, it's unfair to give PMV the credit for that. Because we've not seen President Buhari lift a finger on this power matter. But suddenly he's getting credit for power supply. So I want you to explain to us and to people that are saying that. Yes.
Morayo, it's about the personality of President Buhari. You know, the people in charge all of a sudden seem to get their acts together. Despite the fact that we had the power supply privatized, you could see there were so many protests from Lagosians, Nigerians all across still saying we're paying this heavy tariffs and you're not getting it. And in my household, you know, we have a 200,000 bill from the past regime and all of that. So, yes.
So you just think that now the Baba is here, they're working.
They're getting it. That,
power came on May 26th, just a few days before inauguration. So are you saying they fell in line quickly before he was inaugurated?
Not necessarily.
Jimmy, if you open the door and people knew you to be a very stern person, they would just naturally sit up and adjust as soon as you walk in. And that's the trend.
Which political party are you in?
I am a Nigerian.
I actually don't think it's about the political party, because yes, we've read several times on reports and from interviews that federal government workers, since the president took over, have actually, you know, they are more dedicated to their jobs right now.
They are just falling in line.
And like I was saying, one thing that I think we should also really focus on is boosting the morale of, you know, the military.
Okay.
And those people is actually asked to be reinstated now are under training. Because we're so used to saying 100 days, but really not looking at the systemic logic that is being put in place. It's about the process for me more than just the noise.
Please, I want her to tell me the systemic logic of not having an economic direction 100 days into his government.
Jimmy,
we have lost $80 billion in 3 months.
Can you give me the total of how much has been stolen over the years?
13 trillion.
Okay, so if this person that you and I believe enough in to say, lead us, we believe in your judgment, we believe in your character, we believe in your team that is forming, then you wouldn't give him enough chance to actually sit with it. He's actually doing the job of the ministers
minister.
or all of that that he's bringing in. And for the first time, he's working with bureaucrats who are the ones who are paying over the years and was saying we have a bloated public service.
Now, there's an argument that Buhari might be running something like a dictatorship because they feel that he, like you said, rightly said, he's setting the agenda for even the ministry. That, okay, this is what I want in place. When you do come, you're following the blueprints of what I put in place. So, do you think it's not empowering him? It's not empowering the new people coming in, or he's been like a quote-unquote dictator, but trying to ensure that this is what I want you to do?
At the end of 4 years, they're going to judge Buhari, President Buhari, not by ethnicity, not by religion, but how his team, because how his team delivered his vision. He's not going to always be able to make all those decisions. So he's going to have to believe in some set of people that can make as good decisions as he would make. And that is a very huge prize.
A question I want to ask about the fight for corruption that we're fighting, trying to see how we can curb corruption, and the people that are already maybe going through. What is your take on what are the chances of our president to really curb or totally eradicate corruption in our society?
Again, as a development practitioner, I'm going to be looking at his body language and what he's been saying. Okay. He has said, you know, he set up those special courts, and then he's also called on the judiciary to please do their job.
Thank you for saying that. You know what I'm saying? The
judiciary, and you know, we always think it's just about the leadership. If you have a department, and you know, they're a strong arm of government or of our democracy. So if the judiciary would do their jobs, then definitely Nigerians will have confidence, and they can even invite the president at any time and anybody, and they will be able to do their jobs well. So he's inviting them that please do your job. So, you know, he's not going to be able to deliver and be in the Ministry of Education, be in the Ministry of this. That's why he's putting those people, setting the agenda right with the police force, setting the agenda right with the judiciary, the National Assembly. So for me, he's putting all those machineries in place. So the scrutiny should be all round, not just on the focus of the person.
And another point we seem to be forgetting here is the fact that Nigerian refineries are working right now. And I was this morning in the news, I was watching that there's this refinery that refines aviation fuel that haven't worked in. Last it worked was in the 80s, and that they're working on, you know, bringing it back to life right now. So isn't that a good thing, Jumoke? Why
then again, it was Jonathan that set that agenda also.
Jumoke, but I agree with you, and you know, I seriously do agree that President Jonathan wasn't really a totally bad person, and he did put some things in place. But you're talking of, you know, the next step. We need to be moving forward. We can't keep, you know, because it's about measures. You have to be measuring the days. It's 100 days already.
To the Jonathan factor, because there's been an argument that it's unfair for people to continue to judge PMBs and judge JHs or administration with this one, or without considering the past administration. That you make it look as if Jonathan destroyed everything, but the truth is that the country has been somewhat destroyed even before Jonathan dreamt of becoming president. That why are we picking on him? If we're going to pick on anybody, start from the Babangida regime, Abacha regime.
It was reported on the front pages of one of our dailies this one that there have been illegal accounts for the past 48 years. So it tells me something that, okay,
it's not only Jonathan.
Not, you know, yeah, we have always known that. But you see, the truth is that where do we draw the line, you know?
If we're drawing the line now, but why are we not seeing a PMB being somewhat holistic in this anti-corruption
I would ask you, can you know, elaborate more on not being holistic? Is
I just said that we've not seen him or we've not heard of probes from previous administrations. It's always just been on Jonathan's team, Jonathan's ministers, Jonathan's XYZ. It's all about Jonathan. And people are getting, okay, we agree with your corruption drive. We agree that we should get these guys in jail, but be fair.
Well, I think, you know, the president is leading on the remobilization of funds, you know, because he said he met an empty treasury and all of that. And this is the immediate seeming loot or monies that they can still quickly get, because we've been on the case of recovery of some monies from past leaders and their children.
16 years.
And you and I are still on that case. But this is so recent, and it has the cooperation of the international bodies. It has the interest of...
It's easier to get these ones back now.
It's easier to start from the very last and then probably walk over to the past years.
Okay, I have Michael from Port Harcourt. Michael, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Good morning. How is Port Harcourt this morning?
Yeah, Port Harcourt is very fine.
Good. Go ahead.
Now, if you ask me, Buhari has done exceedingly well. I want to correct Jumoke there. She can't say that the power started being regular on the 26th of May. That is a misinformation.
No.
It was from June that we started experiencing steady power supply. She should not give the credit.
Where do you stay, sir?
Port Harcourt.
You understand?
Port Harcourt. In Lagos. In Lagos, it started May 26 in my own house.
You have been biased in your analysis. I've been watching you. You have been biased, not from 26.
Okay. All right.
Buhari has done exceedingly well. All your analysis have been biased. I've been watching you right on time.
All right, Mr. Michael. Mr. Michael. Thank you, Michael.
See, you made me to lose my thought. Now, last week it was also reported in the papers that a certain Nigerian was caught with a huge chunk of money in Benin Republic, and they said they are not returning the money. So, what's your take on this? Even if peradventure we find, how easy would it be for the government to recoup back all the missing funds, like stolen funds, and people that are trying to smuggle money outside the country?
I'm sure that it's also new to them in terms of, they're going to have to follow due process of every nation. We know what happened and transpired during the elections with the harms and all of that in South Africa. And like I said, we're still on this case of recovering so much money in many Swiss accounts across the world. So I think it's going to be about the due process. But, as I said, the president is leading on this remobilization. So he's definitely going to be using the goodwill he's enjoying now
everywhere
to recover.
Let me take Linus's call. Linus, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, please go ahead.
I think we have to thank God for Buhari's coming. And thank God that I participated well in making sure the change Nigerians wanted come about. There are signs, what we have got, there are signs of the integrity of Buhari, that there's something inside him that will help Nigeria. That is why immediately he was inaugurated, electricity come up, the security issues are settling, and now the civil servants are trying to improve or enhance their activity in the office. And people are pleased with this. We are praying that he will do more. People are talking about his slow attitude. I don't think it's slow.
Thank you so much, Linus.
I do have a question. This is, over the weekend, it was all 100 days in government and all of that. Do you think Nigeria is being too much in a hurry, is judging the present government a little too early? Because quite frankly, when you inherit a country as dislocated as Nigeria, no, but it is true, Nigeria isn't, we are broke.
Very dislocated.
So if you inherit a country in this state, isn't 100 days a little too early to judge?
Well, I won't call it too early to judge, but like you said in the previous segment, Nigerians are attentive. They're being participatory in this governance, and they're not, leaving it to go on so long and then shouting, and then we get ourselves back. So it's good. It's a good space for you to voice, and any good government will appreciate that the citizens are feeding back. It's called, it's a mechanism.
All right, let me take Victory's call. Victory, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Morayo.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Thanks, welcome back.
Thank you.
And good morning to your guests in the studio and everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
Actually, Jumoke, don't mind that call out.
Exactly.
The personal assessment. The reality about this is this in Nigeria. Why do we pretend when we know things are wrong? And we pretend as if it is right. We are in absolute poverty in this country, and we pretend things are okay with us. See, every institution is completely paralyzed, and we pretend it's okay. Things are okay. The other time, someone, BLC climbed a light carriage at Chipowu, which is not meant to be. The passengers were there, they were happy. I chased that vehicle to Yaba to correct the supervisor that next time that thing happens, I'll put you in trouble. See what happened at Ojuelegba. You know quite well that those containers are not meant to take that bridge because it's a light carrier bridge. As well, the bend is so sharp that container can easily fall off. We were quiet until the loss of life. Now people are rising to the occasion. Anyway, I had a question for Mrs. Junaid, and the question is this. Quite well in the newspaper today, illegal operation of foreign accounts has been on for 48 years. Please, how do you explain that? Because inclusive of this same administration, the same thing we are involved. Now, Buhari has come to government, no more petroleum ministry, because the petroleum minister is carrying the portfolio, which Obasanjo did, now repeating itself. And automatically, as the petroleum minister,
what's your question, Victory?
The chairman.
Your question,
of
please.
NNPC. My question is this: how do you justify that?
Okay, thank you very much. Yes.
I think, like I said, it's going to be according to the diplomatic ties. You can't go to another nation and just take out that money. And another thing is the self-regulations of many of the sovereign nations. We're part of the UN, we're part of the African Union. So there's self-regulation going on as well as peer review. So at times, you may think you're ready to actually collect those funds back, but they would look at the overall development of your country, the trust that people have in you, your global ties, and all of that standing, internationally. And they may not refund it. It's just diplomacy. And they may keep spooning you on and on, saying that you would receive the fund, give you parts of it. And there's so many conditions, too, before you can receive this money.
Okay, let me take this call from Shegun. Shegun, are you there?
Yes.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Please, Jumoke, I want to talk to Jumoke. Jumoke, please, for God's sake, you're on national TV, and I respect your view a lot. You're a master degree holder, and anytime you want to come with an argument, there are some outside there trying to listen to you. You are not being fair with this government. It's either you are trying to criticize, that is good, but come up with a constructive criticism. This government, we cannot judge this government now with 100 days. We know what has happened in the past. But what I can say, obviously, is that I have seen the new chief of army staff at the war front himself, and here you complained of the lax service chief. They have pot belly. I heard that from you. But now we have seen improvement in the power sector. We have seen improvement in the last 3 weeks of Jonathan. We were all in total darkness, and who can we now blame? He's the man in question, but there is a new sheriff in town now. Everybody knows that. So the body language is what is talking to everybody to sit up.
Thank you so much. I understand the whole body language.
The power issue. May I quickly remind people that in the papers last week, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Power came out and said that pipeline vandalism stopped towards the end of May. Maybe they knew that a new sheriff was coming, but that's why we now have 5,000 megawatts of power. So I'm not saying that don't credit Buhari. I'm just saying that don't also discredit Jonathan. Yes. Be fair, be balanced in whatever you're saying.
It's 100 days.
Can I say something?
We have to close very soon.
Sorry, I wanted to just say something.
I don't want you to respond to that.
No, I'm not responding. I'm just saying that where I think we should draw the line, which is what all I've been hearing her say. Buhari is his personality. You cannot say you are not a corrupt person and your body language says differently and expect people to act differently. What has happened in our country today? People have just seen that if you if you try nonsense, so your job will be taken from you. So everybody's taking their job seriously. President Jonathan might have started some good things, but he didn't have the willpower to pull them through. And we need a leader that is firm and a leader that is we know where you are, in and out. It's not like you are saying something outside and inside of you is a totally different person. So I think that is the difference between Jonathan and President Buhari.
All right, it's 100. And I want you to have the last word because it's 100 days. The bottom line is that what is our real submission on what PMB has done so far? And that's what I want you to tell us.
Like I said, I think that is in line, is doing what he really needs to do. But a very crucial point, and if I don't mention this, I don't think the women community in Nigeria would forgive me. I think it's essential that we try and see President Buhari using all of the human capital. And it's not just about women, because you can get bad women in power. I'm talking about credible women that can contribute to national development. This is the era of competition globally in terms of human capital. So for you to go to America, I mean, with a lot of men, without women, I don't know how you survived it, but in this coming appointments and all, we have very credible women that can contribute to national development. It's essential we see him balancing that, especially with the sustainable development goals coming on board. Use all of your human capital, including
that's
women.
That's a good way to end that, because even we saw him with the vaccination, which is really something very unusual in the north. So we're happy. So he's doing things that we're not used to, and we hope that this also will be part of it. Sanjay, any last words on this?
I wanted to read a couple of tweets. Yes, please. Well, Prince Orji Samuel says, 100 days of Buhari in office, so far not too bad. The name Buhari alone has made everyone to be on their toes. And Nigeria 8 Job says, #YourViewTVC, PMB will do better for Nigeria, certainly. But more certain is the fact that the North will be the key beneficiary.
Aisha says, the fear of President Buhari is the beginning of wisdom for public office holders.
Okay, I think we can end on that. Thank you so much, Bimbo, for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate you a lot. Ladies, great show. Don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast at 9 p.m. tonight. You can also catch us on YouTube by going to YouTube/TV Entertainment and search for Your View. Don't forget, we're still on our road to size 10, so you can check us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram just to see what we are eating. And register in the gym, you know, and swim also. We need to make it size 10. So those of you who are accompanying us, don't worry, we're going to make it. Eat healthy. I only had watermelon this morning. All right?
Bravo.
So we're having salad for lunch, all right? God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.